I rather enjoyed doing Vlogmas. So I decided to go ahead and do another vlog. This will be a week crafty vlog. All that fun. So it's Tuesday. I'm starting on Tuesday because yesterday was a day off from school. It was President's Day. So little dude was off school and we did a bunch of cleaning, just like our weekly reset stuff, and then just kind of chilled. This morning we went to Snow City Cafe and got coffee, obviously, and we got lemon blueberry muffins. They were really good. And then once I dropped him off at school, I headed across town. In the chaos that was January and the beginning of February being like kind of recovery mode and everything, I forgot to refill my prescriptions. And I realized Sunday I ran out of my meds. Thankfully, it wasn't the antidepressants, which are the really, really important ones. It was one of the other ones that I missed a couple days. Not the end of the world. So I called that in yesterday. And, of course, the pharmacy that I have to go to is across town because the one that's closest to me, the same company that's closest to me, for some reason, they don't have the 100 milligram tablets of my antidepressant. They only have the 50 milligram tablets. I don't know why. And so I have to go all the way across town, which is fine because that allowed me to stop at one of my favorite Value Villages. We have two in Anchorage, and they're both great, but the one over there always has way more crafty stuff than the other one. So I ran over there. I also ran to the library, one of the little libraries, not the main big library. But then I had to do some grocery shopping and stop at the post office for a package. So it's been a busy morning. Yeah, but I figured I would show off what I got because, that's fun, thrifty. Stitch now. I'll use my book. So, oh good lord, I just looked at her page. So I follow Snailfish's Stitches on, my dog is right here, you see movement. I follow her on Instagram, and she posted a couple days ago about a year-long thing that she was going to do, and they are these little little jars. They're gonna be monthly jars. Excuse you, blanket. They're these little monthly jars, and so far she has released January's and February's. She also released a birthday jar, which my birthday is in July, so I will probably stitch it right next to the July jar. But I have decided to do it on one piece of fabric and do them lined up looking pretty. But I stitched January's jar last night. I don't know when this video is going up. It's the 17th of February right now. I have no idea when this will go up. But last night or yesterday, Robert Duvall passed away, and I loved him in Lonesome Dove as Gus McCrae, and also in Broken Trail, which was another Western. But especially Lonesome Dove. So good Lord. I decided that we needed to watch Lonesome Dove. My son's never seen it. It's been ages since my husband's seen it. So we watched episode 1 last night. It's a 4 episode. So I got my jar done. I have been working on this jar. I started it this morning before school pickup and running all my errands, and good Lord. And I'm working on it now. I'm tired. I can't brain. Normally we have, because it's Tuesday, we normally have date night on Tuesdays. My son goes to church life groups on Tuesday nights. He has dinner there and does all that, and my husband and I usually go out to dinner. However, this is a off week. They do 7-week sessions and then take an off week, and this is the off week, so we won't be doing that tonight, which is fine. It'll give us time to watch episode 2 of Lonesome Dove, and I don't know how much I will get stitched on this today. I don't know what time it is. There's a clock right there. It is 3. I have an hour until I have to go get my son. I like that. So one of the reasons why I decided to do this, I got sidetracked, sorry. I love the yearly stitches, where it has each month. However, they're always big. They're always big, or, and I don't really care for the ones that say January, February. I love this. I love little jars full of stuff. I love little jars in, around the house too. And, as soon as I saw this, I knew this was something that I would want to do. And they're super simple. This one is mostly full coverage, and it was only like 330 stitches. And February's has less than 200 stitches. So yeah, I'm excited to be working on this. Hopefully I stick to it and actually finish it within the year. I have a tendency to not stick with stitch alongs. This isn't really a stitch along, though it is a monthly release. But like I said, it's not too many stitches. So my hope is to finish each month's jar before the end of the month. We'll see how it works. Anyways, I'm gonna watch YouTube and keep stitching for a little bit. Good morning. So, the insomnia decided to kick in last night, and I slept like absolute garbage. So, I'm tired today. I'm definitely going to be needing a nap, probably shortly. I was just exhausted. I took little man to school, so I am good until it's time to go pick him up. So, last night I had a little bit of a headache, and excuse you. Okay, sorry, the dog was moving the blanket that, hiccups, that my tripod is on. And, okay. She's trying to get under the blankets because that's where she loves to be. What was I going to say? I had a little bit of a headache. The boys wanted to do... They had something they wanted to watch. Plus, my son had some homework and then wanted to play a video game with his friends. So we ended up not watching Lonesome Dove. And I got crafty stuff done. And I also finished remain. It was okay. I gave it 3 stars, but I don't know. It wasn't what I was expecting. It's very much a Nicholas Sparks book. The M. Night Shyamalan part, I don't know. So yeah, 3 stars. I also started and finished an audiobook yesterday. After I finished the annual one, I picked out American Cryptids from the library's Hoopla. That was not a good book. It wasn't, again, what I was expecting. I was expecting more information on cryptids. Instead, it just kind of goes through each state and tells you these are the cryptids there. And if you're listening to the audiobook, the narrator sucked and didn't look up any translations. He called the Alaska natives Yupiks. It's Yupik. If you're gonna narrate a book, you need to look up translations, because what the hell? There was a bunch of other things that he translated, or not translation, pronunciations, sorry. If you're gonna narrate an audiobook, you need to know pronunciations. There was other ones that he did wrong, whatever. And then I started Galloway's Gospel from Sam Rebellion? I don't know. I don't know. Galloway's Gospel. This is a library book that I got I think I got it last week. But I only read 1 chapter last night before I was finally able to fall asleep. What was I going to say? Oh, this morning, I'm going to cuddle with the dog, read a couple chapters of this, take a nap, and then get to the crafty business, because I was hoping to get some stuff done today. I just need my brain to actually function. So, yay. Okay, bye. Okay. It's been a little bit of a wash today because I laid in bed and read and took a nap. And that's about it. So I got quite a ways into Galloway Girls. What? Galloway's Gospel. Galloway Girl is a song. I got quite a ways into Galloway's Gospel. Not far enough in to have an opinion. Whew. And yeah. So I figured I'd show what I worked on last night. So after I finished the jar, which I finished before I had to go get my son, I really still wanted to cross stitch. So I started She's a Crafty Girl by Frizzy Lizzy Stitches. I actually think it's called Crafty Goose is what the pattern is called. I have She's a Crafty Earl. I need to finish the G. I also worked on the sleeve of the baby sweater last night, and this morning I put in the last couple rows that I needed to for the body of the sleeve, and I switched out my needles so I can start doing the ribbing, and then the sleeve will be done. I was hoping to do some sewing and do laundry today. I need to change out our bedding, and I also wanted to wash all my thrifted fabric and clothing that I got yesterday. It's not gonna happen. Not today. I'll do it tomorrow. But for now, I am going to probably work on this. I haven't really been into cross stitching recently. I was a little bit over Christmas, really got into the advent calendar that I was doing, the dragon advent calendar. But I haven't really been like wanting to sit down and cross stitch. However, I really got into it recently. I did this. I started and finished one pattern, and then I put in 1,000 stitches on one of my full coverages, and then I did the jars, and then I was going to work on the sleeve more than just that little bit that I did last night, but I just wanted to cross stitch. So I'm getting into the need to cross stitch because it's one of those things where unless I'm like really into it, I won't do it regularly. So I am thinking, I'm tired. So I'm getting into it, but I am trying to do smaller projects because a lot of the projects that I do are those big, you know, full coverages or lots of colors, lots of stitching, and I just need some small wins. So I've been going through my pattern keeper and finding the small patterns that I want to do. This was one of them. The project that I had started and finished, which kind of pulled me back into wanting to cross stitch. That was one of them. So, and I've got a couple others lined up. I don't know how many I'm gonna do. I do want to work on, work on projects that I already have going, but at the moment I just don't have the desire to work on a big project. I just want to work on little projects that don't take very long to stitch. So, crud. Okay. Dang, I was really hoping that I was gonna have enough thread to make it through those last few stitches, but I guess not. So yeah, I'm going to sit here and stitch. I was going to look for another audiobook to listen to, but well, I did look and I did not find anything that I was like super into. So I think for now I'm going to watch, I'm really behind on floss tubes, so I'm probably going to watch more of Crafty Emily's videos. That's what I was watching yesterday while I was stitching. But I'm gonna catch up on her videos and just work on this. Good morning. So it is Wednesday. I got the boy to school. Got laundry in. All of our clothes laundry is in the wash. And I have changed out our bedding. And now I am cutting off all the thrift tags for all the thrifted fabric and clothes that I've gotten. Some was Monday, some was last week, but I am getting it all ready to go in the wash. So last night I did not check in after getting my kid from school. Before I went to pick him up from school, I finished the baby sweater, and then got some more work in on my Crafty Goose project. And then my husband, by the time my husband and son got home, I was done. I crashed. I laid down in bed at 5:30 and ended up sleeping until like 8. I got up, had some dinner, and then I was up for a little bit to read, and then I crashed again and slept until like 7:55 this morning, except for a short period at 4:30 in the morning when my husband got up and I kind of rolled over, told him I loved him and have a good day, and then went back to sleep. I think it was a much needed crash. I think it was coming because of all of the last week and a half where I have not slept well at all. So yeah, I'm glad that I did. I feel completely different today, thankfully. I really just needed that sleep. I have a little bit of a headache, but I feel a bazillion times better. So I've got things to do today. I've got like 18 stitches. I worked on Crafty Goose this morning and I finished the goose, which the white on the goose. I still have 18 stitches, which are the eye and the little feet and the beak. And so I'm going to finish that off this morning. I'm going to finish doing laundry. And then I would like to get some other stuff done. Oh, I also need to edit tomorrow's video that's going up, which I just realized I never did a wrap up for that video. So I'm going to have to film that today. Should be quick. So yeah, that's what the plans are for today. So I finished Crafty Goose. Laundry, the clothes are transferred over to the dryer. I've got my thrifted fabric in the wash right now, and I am setting up to work on Fantasy Ride, which is a adopted project. This was supposed to be for my nursery when I was little. I am going to work on it today. I have it in my Q-Snap. This half is pretty much done. So I'll be working on the back half. I have not put any stitches into this yet, so this will be the first time it's been worked on in 34 years. How old am I? How old am I? I'm 34. I'll be 35 this year. Ugh. So this has not been worked on since the very, very, very early 90s. Like 1990, 1991. So I'm gonna work on this. It definitely is going to need a good wash when it's done. I can see some grunge marks and stuff from sitting, but this will be the project that I work on eventually. So what I'm going to do is, since this is a paper pattern, I'm going to use my phone, scan the page, the pattern page, so that I can print it, and then I can mark it up. That way I know what has been done, and I can mark off what I've done. That way I don't have to mark on the actual leaflet. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll work on that later. I need to edit. I did film the wrap up for my cross stitch whip organization video thing. So I need to edit videos next. But I'm feeling so much better today. I have so much more energy. Also, I'm listening to podcasts. I listen to, it's Thursday, so Morbid came out with a new episode, and so did the 13th Juror podcast. So Morbid's was on amusement park disasters, which that's terrifying. And then 13th Juror is starting a mini series on Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial situation. So I really enjoy the 13th Juror podcast. I just started listening to it a couple weeks ago. But I've gone through and listened to like her entire back catalog, except for I still haven't listened to the back catalog of Karen Reed's first trial. I'll get there. But I really like her stuff because you hear a lot about the evidence that we don't get to see, and she covers a lot of her series covers when she does the mini series of past things. She'll cover the defense's point of view, the prosecution's point of view, the aftermath, what we find out afterwards, and you know, there's a lot of evidence that gets disallowed for trials that the jury never gets to hear about. So it is interesting listening to that. So I'm listening to that one right now, and then I think that gets me all caught up on podcasts. So I will then have to I still have not found a new audiobook to listen to. I'm gonna check Hoopla. I checked Libby, and I didn't find any that were interesting in the pages I scrolled through, but I'll find something. You guys don't need to hear about that. Okay. I'm gonna go back to doing stuff. Alright, so I got my video edited. The clothing laundry is done and folded. The boys put that away. I don't. It's enough for me to do laundry and fold it. I don't do the putting of the away stuff. That's the boys' job. The video is now rendering, and then I'll get it uploaded so that it's ready to go live tomorrow. I also got eggs boiling for dinner tonight. I'm gonna make a macaroni salad, pasta salad, egg salad thing. I'm gonna kind of mash two recipes together. I am really just going to, I have this thing where sometimes I just throw shit in a pan. This time, instead of throwing shit in a pan, I'm gonna throw shit in a bowl. It always turns out good. Thankfully, I am actually a decent cook. So, yeah, I'm going to sit down for a bit and work on Fantasy Ride. I just realized that one of the colors that I'm missing is the main color, the ecru. I had bought new flosses for this one. Seems like I did not buy ecru. I looked in my master set and I can't find my ecru. I know I have it, so it's got to be with a project, but it's not in the box. So I will probably end up buying another skein because it is the skin of the horse. So there's actually quite a bit left to do on the legs, because there's two in the back. So yeah, I'm gonna work on this. Also, I did grab an audiobook from Hoopla. It is Robert the Bruce. I'll put it here. It is about the King of Scotland, hero of Scotland. It's pretty good so far. So I am glad about that. And I have scanned and printed. It printed weird. Plus, I forgot that I am low on ink. So the colors are off, but it's enough where I can at least mark the stitches of where I'm at while using the main pattern. So yeah, I am gonna get to working and stop blabbering because I'd like to actually get something done on this project. Okay, so a couple things. Still can't count. Nope. I've still managed to not be able to count stitches. I also, while sitting here staring at the project, I realized that my mom cross stitches differently than I do. So I stitch and I do I start at the, if you're, oh my God, how am I going to explain this? So if you're looking at a cross stitch square, I start down here, do my first leg across, which leans to the right, and then I do my left leaning cross coming back. On this, my mom has done the left leaning first and then crossed back the right leaning way, which it really does not matter how you stitch. If you're a cross stitcher, it's all about getting the project done. It doesn't matter how you stitch. And the only I'm not going to, I was thinking about it. I'm not going to bother switching the way I stitch. I'm just going to stitch the way I do. And then, and I know that I had mentioned this before, these are old DMC threads. The colors may have changed. They might have faded, which is fine. And I'm fine with, being able to tell which sections were done by my mom and which sections were done by me. And I thought that would just be like the difference in thread color. However, it's probably going to be the difference in the way the stitches look. From a distance, once it's hung on the wall, nobody's going to know. The only time they'll know is if they look really, really close, and that'll be, that'll only be, stitchers that realize it. I highly doubt the average person that does not cross stitch is going to even notice. So, yeah. This is going to take me a little bit. I have done 8 stitches. And I had managed to, well, I had done a couple more than that, but I had to rip them back because I can't count. 9 stitches now. So it is going to take a while. I am so used to stitching with Pattern Keeper, and this is not a Pattern Keeper pattern. It's a leaflet. So I've considered trying to use the picture function of Pattern Keeper to put it in, but I don't know if I can deal with that. So I'm not gonna bother. But for now, I'm just gonna stitch. My goal is to just put time into this. I have a goal of doing 1,000 stitches on every single one of my cross stitch projects in the year. I don't know that that's gonna happen on here, just because I won't be counting my stitches. But I just, like I said, want to get work in on this project. And I just realized my mom miscounted. She miscounted stitches. So hey, if I miscount, it's fine. Actually, no, she did not what am I doing? Did she miscount? Yes, she did miscount. Okay, so she miscounted. Good Lord, I can't even count. I can't count her miscounting. She did miscount. It's fine. It's the background stitches, honestly. when I do like background stitches, like if it's like snow flakes dropping down, little dots, I don't count. I just kind of put them in wherever. And again, nobody's gonna know that it was miscounted because ain't nobody gonna have the pattern up close. It is a old pattern. I don't even know how many people, you know, where it exists, if you can even get your hands on it anymore. 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't count just to make sure. So yeah, I don't care. Miscount is a miscount. Who gives a crud? I'm gonna stop jabbering and continue stitching. Okay, so I finished the laundry, folded all of my thrifted stuff, and peeled the eggs, did a bit of cleaning, and now I am going to work on my hat. I kind of stalled out on my melt the ice hat purely because I could not, for the life of me, find my size 8 DPNs. I'm using a worsted weight for this pattern, and it calls for US size 8 needles, of course. Can't find my DPNs, and it got to the point where I was crap on a cracker where it was just too small for my knitting needles. So my in the round knitting needles, and I really need to get mine finished because my husband and son both want one of these hats, and I picked out the yarn last Friday, so I'm gonna just guesstimate where the halfway mark is because I took my stitch marker that was in there out. So yeah, I need to get my button gear and finish this, which it will not take very long. Right now it is every single row is a decrease row, so it's not gonna take very long. morning. It is Friday. Yay. I have some errands to run this afternoon, but that's later. It is a gorgeous sunny day. The mountains are out, not just the ones around the city, but also the ones to the south over the inlet. You can see all of those, but it's freaking cold. It's -2 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. And it's windy, so that's fun. I would love to be outside in it, but as much as I would like to take her for walkies, yes, walkies, she's the type of doggy where she gets cold and she will go outside, do her business, immediately book it for the door. And when it's cold enough, sometimes she doesn't even want to do her business and she just books it for the door. Her paws freeze and then she forgets how to walk. And she refuses to wear booties. She walks like an idiot when she has booties on. So, anyways, last night I have honestly not too much on Fantasy Ride. I did the background stitches here, and then I started continuing one of the legs down. I'll probably continue with the legs today. This one is a little bit harder. I've got to be honest, I'm used to stitching black and white. I'll give you a hint of the pattern. I'm used to stitching black and white symbols with Pattern Keeper. These are colored symbols, not on Pattern Keeper, and it's a pain. So stitching is definitely slow, but I'm just glad to put stitches in this because it hasn't been stitched on in 30 plus years. I honestly don't know when my mom worked on it the last. So because I wasn't going to be working on that when I was watching a movie with the hubs before he had to go back to work for a short bit. What is that? I wanted something simple. So I picked up my skull sampler and put in this skull right there, these two bones, and then I've started this motif, and I also put in that P. It says Happy Halloween throughout. But this one is really simple, one color. It's on Pattern Keeper. It's easy. So it's completely different than Fantasy Ride, which takes a lot of brain power. I worked on this morning as well. I don't know what I'm going to work on today. To be honest, I have, let's see, I should cast on baby sock number 2. I should cast on another Melt the Ice hat. My son's needs to be cast on. I finished mine except for the tassel. I finished mine yesterday. I probably will do the tassels all at once. So that's done. It's another project off of the needles. Now, I should cast on baby sock number 2. I don't want to. I should cast on Melt the Ice number 2. I don't want to. I am considering picking up the, I think this is the Firth, is that, considering picking up the sleeves on my Firth sweater. Guess what I'm going to say? But I don't want to. I really want to cast something on, and I want to cast this sweater on, to be honest with you. But if you watched my whip parade, which came out, by the time this video goes up, it'll be a few weeks. If you watch that, you know that I have way too many sweaters on the needles right now. So casting on a sweater is the last thing I need to do. I was looking at patterns last night, just like small ones that would be quick and easy patterns, and of course there's really nothing that I want to do. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm tired. Like I said, I have errands to run later today. That's not gonna be anytime soon. I do need to take a shower because my hair is bleh. And I do want to get some sewing in today. I'll probably sew tonight, this afternoon, after errands and after my boys are home. They'll be up late playing video games, whatever, so I will have plenty of time to sew. I don't know. I think I will have a look through Ravelry again, see if I can find something that is simple, that is fun, that I can just real quick cast on. And okay, I have been good and have not, we're gonna edit that out. That was terrifying. I've been good and have not cast on a new project, even though I desperately want to. I'm being a good girl. I really need to deal with my cord mess from my fish tank, but yeah. So the sewing project that I have going right now is this Simplicity 9287. It's a pattern by Gertie, which I love Gertie's patterns. I pay for her Patreon so that I can get her patterns monthly, and so I love all of her patterns. And I found this one, I think I got this one a while ago, at Joann's. So all of my pieces are cut out and probably need to be ironed again because let's see, what was I gonna do? Gotta get my pieces together so I know which. I mean, they're pretty easy to tell the difference. There's not very many pieces and it's easy to tell the difference. This one does not have a pattern with it, but it's because I've already done all the markings. I gotta go get my scissors. I'll be right back. sewing if I didn't stab myself with the needle, burn myself with the iron. I swear I should not be allowed around sharp objects. I burnt myself on the freaking iron. I was being stupid. Ouch. Holding my thing and right on the knuckle with my iron. So that's fun. Anyways, I have got the back pieces together, attached the shoulders. The side seams are not done yet, which is good because I wouldn't be doing them anyways, because I cut the bigger size bigger, and I plan to pin it on my body on the side so that I can get a better fit. So that's done, and then the facing is all done. Now I have to pin this onto, ow, my thumb hurts. I have to pin this on to the project, which actually is nice that it's not side seamed because it'll be easier to pin.